Okay, put on your glasses. Just a second. Now, want to know the truth? Surgery is just one tool. It's time to put the other tools in the toolbox because it's your body, your health, your life. Okay, put on your glasses. It's time to look at this picture really closely. The BMI, the body mass index, is really a hot topic, especially in our bariatric communities. I like to call it the bad, misleading information. It's used to categorize people on their height and weight, but it's also used in diagnoses, treatment, care plans, as well as many of the insurance companies when it comes to our weight loss surgery. The BMI is the indicator. It really is a one-size-fits-all approach to health, decisions, determinations, judgments, and our self-worth is tied up in this charade. Lies, lies, and lies. We've all been there. We've gone to the doctor's office, get our blood pressure taken, then our weight and our height, and then the doctor likes to relay the information. Your BMI is too high. You're going to probably have to lose some weight. In this video, we're going to talk about that BMI chart, as well as that number that we see on the bathroom scale. And I believe these characters are just some shady liars. If you stick around, I'm going to give you other ways, better ways to determine your progress and your success on your weight loss journey. And also at the end, a bonus tip, more like a visual that really helped me to gain perspective about what I think progress is. It made me look at the whole thing a little differently. Okay, go grab a pen because just in case you don't know your BMI, I can tell you how to calculate it. So the BMI formula, the imperial formula, BMI equals your height in pounds divided by your height in inches times your height in inches, which is squared, and then times 703. So now that we went through all that, is it really worth knowing your BMI? Your BMI was developed by a mathematician about 200 years ago. This screening method for overweight individuals and obesity in white male populations was never meant to be used as it is today. The BMI was based on approximately 7,500 men from 5 European countries. Women were not included in this research, and it does not account for the racial differences as they relate to disease risk. So is there any value in determining your BMI to determine your health? I believe it is an inaccurate measure of body fat content. It does not take into account muscle mass, bone density, overall body composition, age, racial, and gender differences. The thing is, the BMI so many times alone frequently misclassifies metabolic health, which is linked to how a person carries their fat and how it's distributed throughout the body, particularly unreliable during pregnancy for athletes and the elderly. While your BMI can give your healthcare provider basic information about your weight status, it definitely isn't great at determining overall health or predicting disease risk. Because in fact, people who have on their charts as a healthy BMI, they're considered a normal BMI, could have the same risk factors as someone who's obese or in the overweight category. This really can create a false sense of health and well-being if the BMI is the only tool that's being used. And on the flip side, someone who's categorized in the overweight or obese category may have a lower risk of developing some chronic diseases. If you have a healthy BMI, but you smoke a pack a day, you're likely to have a higher risk of every other disease than a non-smoker who is overweight. Even more, there are significant flaws in the original BMI research. The BMI does not distinguish between muscle mass and body fat. If someone's a bodybuilder or weightlifter, chances are they're considered overweight as classified on the BMI chart. But that doesn't mean they are not fit and healthy. The BMI is not reliable for the elderly since they tend to have bone loss and muscle loss. The BMI does not consider the distribution of fat. For example, a pear-shaped body versus an apple-shaped body. Using the BMI alone to determine health ignores other health factors, such as mental health well-being, lifestyle factors, smoking status, and environmental and sociological factors. Now let's talk about the scale. I'm going to tell you a little story about the scale. So before surgery, for many, many years, probably going on 20 years, I'm not lying, is whenever I'd go to the doctor, and I would not go to the doctor because I was so scared of the scale and that number. But when I would go, I would tell, you know how you go to the doctor and typically they'll take your weight and your height and your blood pressure before you actually see the doctor? Well, and that was the most anxiety-ridden time for me. I would never look at the number, never. I would ask the person not to tell me it. And, I'd get some looks like, well, what the heck? Or, well, why? And I would tell them, I would lie. Most of the time I'm lying. I would say, oh, my therapist, my counselor said I shouldn't. I get too focused on the number, so I don't need to know the number. I might have been seeing a therapist at a time. I've seen therapists over my life, but a therapist has never told me that. But I would tell them because you know what? If I saw that number, whatever it was, it could ruin my day. It could ruin my week. It could ruin my month. It could ruin my year. So I just avoided the number at all costs. As well as at home. Rarely did I weigh myself. Ever did I weigh myself. Because that number, I could have won $1 million. But if I weighed myself and didn't like that number, everything changed. Since bariatric surgery and since all the work I've done to learn about these liars that we allow us to determine our self-worth, since then, I have learned that the number on the scale really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Bear with me. Hold up before you come for me. Let me explain. What really matters is my relationship with food and how I'm handling the lifestyle changes and the behavior modifications so I can have long-term success in weight loss, but even more importantly, to reach my bigger why. What really matters is my relationship with my self-worth, my self-image, and my relationship with my body. Want to really know why the number on that scale doesn't really matter? You could be eating the healthiest diet, working out all the time, and the scale doesn't move. And as I've said in other videos, if you haven't heard this before, plateaus, stalls, slow down in weight, and even gain is normal after bariatric surgery. It is part of the process. And if you want to check out one of my videos about weight loss plateaus and stalls, I explain why that is normal. But it's normal and it should be expected. So really, the number doesn't really matter. We focus so much on that scale, and when it doesn't move, we get destroyed. We want to give up. It changes our mood. It can even impact our loved ones around us. We feel terrible about ourselves, and we feel like a failure. Am I saying never weigh yourself after bariatric surgery? Of course, you want some data, but try not to let it get you down because the number on the scale does not tell the full story. Here is why. As I explained, weight loss, plateaus and stalls after bariatric surgery, weight loss surgery is normal and should be expected because your body, even before surgery, if you've been a yo-yo dieter or you've tried dieting and maybe you lose some weight, then you return and you gain that weight and you can't, like the problem starts to get higher and higher. So you never get past a point. Well, that's your body settling. It's called a set point. So remember, after surgery, If your scale isn't moving, maybe you're at one of those natural and normal set points. It will adjust and start moving again if you're doing everything, as you should. Your body needs a break once in a while. Another reason why you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket with that darn number on the scale is maybe you're fighting an infection, or are you recovering from an injury? When you're fighting an infection or you're recovering from an injury, be it a cut on your hand, broken ankle, whatever it is, a cold, is your body is going under stress. And what it does is it increases the inflammation in your body, which increases cortisol, which your body thinks it's under stress, which it goes and kicks into survival mode, and it holds on to water and it holds on to weight. It's a survival technique. It's just our body finding ways to combat the stress. Your body composition is changing. When the scale doesn't move sometimes, you're losing body fat while gaining muscle mass. Your weight may stay the same even as you lose inches, which is a sign that you're moving in the right direction, which is what we really want, right? However, if the scale doesn't change, you may not be even aware that you're getting real results, like those inches lost, especially if you're not tracking in other ways to show that you're having progress. Your weight fluctuates every day, all day long. If you weigh yourself daily, which I suggest strongly that you don't, or are some of you weighing yourselves multiple times a day? Be honest. If you're doing that, you probably notice that your weight fluctuates. This could be due to water retention, hormones, excessive salt intake, time of day. Just stop stressing over the number on the scale, and definitely stop weighing yourself every single day and stop weighing yourself multiple times a day. You're just going to get discouraged. Why drive yourself so crazy? The number on the scale does not always show your health. Just because someone is thin does not mean that they are healthy. There's a term out there called skinny fat. In fact, a heavier person may have a better overall health due to lifestyle choices like eating a balanced diet, exercising, taking care of their mental health, reducing stress, all the things. So don't let the scale be your health gauge. For improved overall health, you need to make the changes, the overall changes, the lifestyle changes, the behavior modifications for life. For example, better blood pressure and improved cholesterol levels are measures of improved health, which may not change the number on the scale. So muscle weighs more than fat, right? Actually, no. As we work out, we are building more lean muscle mass, which actually weighs the exact same as fat. But the thing is, it will show differently on your body. It'll feel differently on your body. For example, if you're working out and you're doing the exercises and you're building some of that lean muscle mass, your clothes might feel looser, but the scale is the same. This is probably due to the fact that you're building lean muscle. Did you know that building lean muscle mass will help boost your metabolism, your resting metabolism, so you can burn fat while you're resting? Your scale does not account for all the things. Like when you step on the scale, you're actually weighing every tissue, cell, the food you ate, the glass of water you drank, the bowel movement you haven't had yet, etc. Just realize that the scale does not account for everything. The numbers, whatever they are, do not show the overall health and well-being. Focus on your happiness, your energy levels, and the things you love to do. Having a focus on health, be it physical and or mental, or both, instead of just losing weight, is the best move. Remember, we don't lose weight to get healthy. We get healthy to lose weight. Because weight loss is just a side effect of true happiness and health. Talk about better ways to determine progress and success. While it is true that our BMI offers our health professionals a kind of a quick assessment, they really would get more of a complete picture of a health risk by looking at the following factors. So you as well, consider the following factors: your age, gender, medical history, family history, lifestyle factors, health behaviors. These measures, alongside of your BMI, would give a more complete picture of your overall health. Remember, the BMI does not account for the body's distribution of fat. The waist to hip ratio can assess excess abdominal fat, which is a key factor in health and over well-being. To get your ratio, divide your waist circumference by your hip circumference. A ratio greater than 0.85 for women and 0.9 for men considered a higher risk. But other measurements that your doctor could use or you could look into to get a better idea than your BMI of your fat percentage, your body composition is using calipers to get that skin fold thickness, machines that use underwater weighing of mass, bioelectrical units to determine body muscle mass versus fat mass, and then DXA scanners, dual energy X-ray absorptiometry. These just give you a better understanding than just the BMI chart, which uses 2 data points, your weight and your height. These other methods just give an overall understanding of how much your body carries the fat, where it carries it, and what that percentage is. Like we talked about, but a good reminder is, other than that number on the scale, how are your clothes fitting? How many total inches have you lost? What do you look like in a before and after picture comparison? What is your blood work telling you? Have you had a reduction or even a removal of other health conditions or other health issues? How is your mood, your energy level? What are your sleep patterns doing? What other non-scale victories have you experienced or you're looking forward to? Have you achieved your bigger why yet? Is your quality of life improving? Are you increasing your participation in life or society? Are you starting to be open to change, learning possibly some new skills? Have you reduced any bad habits or maybe even unsupportive relationships? Can we make the professionals, our health professionals, our insurance companies, get rid of it? Maybe not, but we as sure as heck should know the truth. Definitely not allow the determination of our overall health status, weight loss progress, our own self-confidence be destroyed by a number on a scale or a category on a chart that only uses 2 data points. Now the bonus tip. This was adapted by YouTube influencers, the Keto Twins, which I think they said it came from Reddit. I saw them use it and I just resonated with it. Maybe it'll resonate with you as well. How many times do a lot of us feel like we've not made any progress, or we get down, or we get defeated because we've actually lost 30 to 50 pounds, maybe even a little bit more, but no one's saying anything? No compliments, no one's noticing. We don't even notice it, but we've lost significant amount of weight. Does that ever kind of get you down? Is that you? For many of us, we have a lot to lose, not just 20 pounds. We have 100 pounds. We have 200 pounds. First of all, before I show that, let's remember talking about someone's weight. So one of the reasons could be that people aren't complimenting you, saying anything. You think they're not noticing. They're noticing. But to come out and say, hey, you've lost a lot of weight is hard. People don't like to talk or bring up people's weight. Do you do that? You know, people lose weight for many reasons, right? It could be because they're sick. It could be because they're depressed, have cancer. There's many reasons. So people get a little nervous bringing up weight. And then when you want to say, you want to compliment someone, like, how do you do that? Do you say, oh, you look so good now? Oh, well, did I look like crap before? So talking about people's weight, especially with people that, you work with or acquaintances, that have noticed that you've lost weight, they may be just not saying something. And then the flip side of that is the people closest to you, like your partners, your spouses, your kids, they see you every single day. So they're like you. They're not seeing the loss because they're seeing you every single day. It's not like a movie where they can cut to the next scene. So it's just something to think about when we talk about reasons why people might not be saying anything or complimenting you, even though you have lost a big amount of weight. So I think they called it the paper towel effect, but I don't have any paper towels, so I'm going to use toilet paper. So let's look at a roll of toilet paper. See, look how thick this is, right? It has a look. So say we start taking and removing some of the toilet paper, right? We take it. So here, look at, that's a lot. That's a lot of toilet paper. But look at, it looks pretty much the same still. So this could be a representation of what's happening. You have a lot of weight to lose, right? And you've lost a lot of weight. That does not say that people aren't seeing it or, saying something that you haven't made progress. You've made great progress. But just think about it. You have a lot of weight to lose, right? And you've lost a lot of weight. But the roll still looks the same. But as you lose more and more and more, it's going to look smaller and smaller. It's going to unroll faster and faster. And eventually you're going to get this. I know for me, I think I didn't start noticing for myself till like 70 pounds. And then the other thing to remember for some of us out there, and I get it, as we lose weight during weight loss surgery, there's lots of stages we're going to go through, and a lot of us have a lot of weight to lose. We don't want to be buying clothes that's very expensive. But sometimes when we keep wearing the same clothes that we originally started our journey on, and then 100 pounds, 50 pounds, 30 pounds later, our clothes are fitting looser and we're still wearing them. So for a lot of people, they're seeing the same clothes, they're seeing it. And so you're still looking like you haven't lost weight because those clothes are baggy on you. We might think it's a comfort zone. That's old behavior that we use to feel comfort, right? We don't want to expose ourselves. We think if we cover it, if we wear something bigger, no one will notice. Well, actually, it makes you look bigger. You are more than just a number, and things might not be as they appear. Take care. Stop weighing yourself every single day, and we'll see you in the next video.